Introduction. Welcome to this comprehensive summary of Reminiscences of a Stock Operator by Edwin Lefèvre. First published in 1923, this book is a semi-biographical account inspired by the life of legendary trader Jesse Livermore. It remains one of the most influential books on trading psychology and market speculation. Rather than being a dry manual, it tells the story of a trader's journey through success, failure, and the lessons learned along the way. What makes the book timeless is that the challenges faced by traders a century ago are still strikingly relevant today. In this summary, we will explore the key lessons and insights from discipline, patience, and risk management to understanding human psychology and crowd behavior. Each chapter brings you closer to understanding the mental framework required not just to survive, but to thrive in the unpredictable world of trading. Chapter 1: Early Beginnings in Bucket Shops. The story begins with the young trader's fascination for numbers and price movements. He starts trading in bucket shops, places where small traders could bet on price fluctuations without actually owning stocks. This early environment allowed him to practice reading price action and tape reading, sharpening his instincts. The experience was invaluable, but it also created overconfidence. Bucket shops gave him the thrill of quick profits but also showed him the dangers of reckless speculation. The lesson here is that while early exposure to markets can build intuition, it must be paired with discipline and humility. Overconfidence at the start of one's career can easily wipe out any small gains. True trading wisdom comes only after experiencing both the excitement of success and the sting of losses. Chapter 2: Learning the Market's Language. Moving beyond bucket shops, the trader steps into the real stock exchanges, where the stakes are much higher. Here, he realizes that tape reading alone is not enough. The market has a language of its own. He learns that understanding the rhythm of price movements requires patience and observation. Markets are shaped by both logic and emotion, and price action reflects the constant battle between fear and greed. The trader discovers that the ability to wait for the right moment is just as important as the skill of spotting opportunities. In other words, timing and temperament are inseparable in trading success. The lesson is clear: a trader must adapt continuously and learn to interpret the subtle signals the market provides, rather than rushing into every price swing. Chapter 3: The Dangers of Overtrading. One of the recurring mistakes highlighted in the book is overtrading. The trader often found himself jumping into too many trades, driven by impatience or the desire for action. Overtrading drained his capital and energy, leaving him vulnerable to losses. He realized that the market does not reward constant activity but disciplined selectivity. The greatest profits often come from waiting for high-probability setups and then acting decisively. Overtrading is a sign of psychological weakness, a trader seeking excitement rather than rational opportunities. This is a timeless lesson: doing nothing at times is the wisest choice. Successful trading is not about how many trades you take, but about taking the right trades at the right time. Chapter 4: Discipline and Emotional Control. Perhaps the most powerful theme of the book is discipline. The trader learns, often painfully, that emotions like fear, greed, and hope are the biggest enemies of consistent profits. Emotional impulses lead to holding on to losing positions, cutting winners too early, or ignoring risk management. Discipline means following rules, even when emotions scream otherwise. He discovers that real strength lies not in predicting the market but in controlling himself. Without discipline, even the most brilliant market analysis is useless. In fact, trading success is less about intellectual brilliance and more about emotional resilience. A disciplined trader may not always be right, but over the long run, discipline ensures survival and steady growth. Chapter 5: Patience and Timing. Another lesson emphasized is the importance of patience. The trader recognizes that the market offers countless opportunities, but not all are worth pursuing. Waiting for the right conditions often feels frustrating, but impatience usually leads to costly mistakes. He learns to stay out of the market when conditions are unclear and to act boldly when his conviction is strong. Timing is everything; both entry and exit determine profitability. He also discovers that rushing to book profits often means missing larger trends. Patience is not passive, it is an active part of trading strategy. The message here is simple: money is made by sitting tight on good trades, not by constantly buying and selling. Chapter 6: The Role of Risk Management. Through repeated losses, the trader learns that risk management is the foundation of survival. No matter how skilled one becomes, every trade carries uncertainty. Protecting capital is more important than chasing profits. He develops the habit of cutting losses quickly, knowing that small losses are manageable while big losses can be devastating. Position sizing and diversification become essential tools. The trader realizes that greed often tempts people to bet too much on a single opportunity, but discipline requires spreading risk and never risking more than one can afford to lose. This lesson remains central in modern trading. The first rule is not to make money, but to avoid losing it all. Chapter 7: Crowd Psychology and Market Manipulation. One of the most fascinating parts of the book is the exploration of crowd psychology. The trader observes how masses of people act irrationally, driven by herd mentality. Prices are often influenced not by fundamentals, but by collective fear or euphoria. He also witnesses how insiders and manipulators exploit this behavior, creating artificial moves to trap inexperienced traders. This teaches him that markets are less about truth and more about perception. To succeed, one must learn to think independently, resisting the pull of the crowd. In fact, the best opportunities often come when you do the opposite of the majority. Understanding crowd behavior becomes as important as analyzing charts or news. Chapter 8: The Danger of Tips and Rumors. Throughout his journey, the trader encounters countless tips, rumors, and so-called inside information. Initially, he is tempted to act on them, hoping for quick profits. But time and again, he discovers that tips are unreliable, often designed to mislead. Depending on others for information only weakens judgment and creates dependency. He learns that real success comes from independent thinking, not borrowed ideas. The market punishes those who blindly follow others, while rewarding those who develop their own conviction. The key takeaway is that there are no shortcuts in trading. Discipline, observation, and independent analysis are the only reliable tools. Chapter 9: Success, Failure, and Resilience. The trader's career is full of both spectacular successes and devastating failures. He makes fortunes and loses them, sometimes more than once. These cycles teach him that failure is not final as long as lessons are learned. Resilience, the ability to recover and start again, is what separates lasting traders from temporary speculators. He discovers that every failure contains the seed of future success, provided one reflects honestly and adapts. The market humbles everyone, but those who persevere with discipline and self-awareness eventually find their edge. The deeper message here is that trading is not just about money, it is about character and persistence. Chapter 10: The Making of a Professional Trader. In the final stage of his journey, the trader evolves from a reckless speculator into a seasoned professional. He no longer sees trading as gambling but as a serious business requiring rules, discipline, and strategy. He embraces uncertainty, accepts losses as part of the game, and focuses on long-term consistency rather than quick riches. The professional trader understands that success comes not from predicting the market perfectly, but from managing risk and controlling emotions. The ultimate lesson is that trading mastery is self-mastery. The market is a mirror reflecting your strengths and weaknesses. Conquer yourself, and you conquer the market. Conclusion: Reminiscences of a Stock Operator is far more than a biography, it is a timeless guide to the psychology of trading. Edwin Lefèvre, through the story of Jesse Livermore, reveals truths about human behavior, market dynamics, and the discipline required for success. The key lessons: avoid overtrading, manage risk, think independently, and master your emotions, are as relevant today as they were a century ago. Trading is not simply about making money, it is about cultivating patience, resilience, and a disciplined mindset. As you reflect on these lessons, remember that markets will always change, but human nature remains the same. To thrive as a trader, you must not only study the markets but also study yourself.